can buy into that. So yeah, this is super cool. But just to kind of introduce this, we're currently in Guatemala. Jake, Steven, thank you guys so much for putting this together.
Yeah, of course.
I think we all had a hell of a time, made friends for life and fucking memories that I can't wait to tell my kids. So kind of how this is going to go, really just want to go around. I'll give kind of my take on it, and then we'll get everyone's favorite part of the trip, just first thing that comes to mind, and we'll dive into the man behind the mastermind, the whole thing.
Sounds great.
So for me, honestly, I had, like I've told a lot of guys on this trip, we had a lot of I had a deep conversation with just about everybody here at one point or another, which I thought was freaking sick. A big thing for me this year was being a year removed from college and going through about 9-10 months of just probably the most lonely I've been in a long time, like doing the internet stuff, but just like nobody really relating. And then, I remember this popped up. I've been following Watch Socials for a while, but, I had prayed all year about just surrounding myself with more like-minded people that bring out the best in you, and then just my mantra every single day. And then this just like fell in my lap. So I thought this was absolutely incredible. My first time leaving the country. Wouldn't have wanted to do it any other way. 23 years young. Yeah. But it was super cool. I learned so much about just so many different cultures, like being in the back of a pickup truck and like Gus explaining the UK tax system, and then I tell them about how like business tax works in the US, and it was like, okay, for John goes to war. He's like, you can write the whole thing? I was like, yeah, dude, I think Trump gets away with it. I think you just buy real estate, buy art, do your thing, throw a sticker on your car, and write things off. But does anyone want to go first as far as like giving their take on the experiences? Anyone have something come to mind?
Yeah, so I think so my favorite arc was just as soon as we touched down, the first two guys I linked up with were Jack and Jet, and it was just like as soon as we met, it was like you're already Rose, and it was like I've known them for years. And then as the group kept on growing, as everyone kept flying in, it was just exactly the same. So it's like I've known y'all for a week, but it feels like it's been so much longer. So that's probably the most amazing part.
So we go. So far for me, it's been because I'm really guilty about trying to focus on the routine and structure, because like that's kind of how I happy need to stay like on a productive, like forward progress kind of direction. And like it's just been great for me to break out of that rigidity a little bit, because I'm like really hard on myself, and it's like I need to do this, and this. I woke up 30 minutes late and skip the sauna this morning or whatever. But it's like here, you can have your fun and your exercise just by like running pickleball heads, and like that's so much better than sitting in the gym alone. So just stuff like that, and recharging your social batteries and some laughter goes incredibly long way. Like I've never felt less anxiety. That's amazing. It's like I know there's all this stuff going on back home, and it's like I'll deal with them when I get back. Yeah, it's not like I'm gonna get anxiety when I go back. It's like I'm coming into it with fresh mindsets. Like it's too much.
And just to piggyback off that, one of our conversations we had was just about how important it was to just like have that time, the boys. Like
we were last night, and
I think it was last. We were just
7 guys, too.
Yeah, we were 7 guys.
30 minute rant.
Yeah, I literally go like, all right, you're 5 years older than me, bro. Like, what's been the most important lesson like in the last 5 years or something like that? And you go for 30 minutes, and it was good. So I was dialed in. The biggest thing that stood out was just like making sure whether you're in relationships, whether you're single, no matter what it is, trying to find those people and trying to find like that time with the boys, just be boys. And like see new shit, learn from people, because like I talked about a few people that like, male suicide rates are fucking over 25-30% higher than ever men, and everything lesbian boys need boys, 100%.
And whether you can count on to do, and I feel like you can feel that pretty quickly, even with you guys that just like met each other. I feel like you all felt comfortable enough to share these really heavy things that might be going on in your life, just something you experienced. Like you said it with confidence, and the fact that it's not going to be met with judgment, or someone's going to go behind your back and
talk about you in a negative way. Like that safe space is so incredibly rare.
Well, and the chances are whoever I'm talking to or something we were either going through has met insights.
Yeah.
Like them sides right through, and welcome to some shit.
Yeah, 100%. Don?
I think for me, just going so far outside of the comfort zone, like I ordered a plane to Guatemala with people who I've met on the internet in group chats, and everyone back home was like, "Oh, where are you going in Guatemala?" I'm like, "I don't even know." How do you go to these people? It's just like they don't understand. Yeah, just carrying on with what you said, like just making friends that are gonna last and that have the same values as me, and are gonna push me to be even better. And it's like everyone here is here because they wanted me.
Yeah. And to piggyback off that one, like, I think the reason we all, like, show up and are, like, instilled in alignment is because, like, we know what it takes to, like, actually go through with something like this. So my philosophy is always just, like, the intention is just so much of everything. So, like, we're all intentionally chose to do this. Like, that means, like, we are, like, that was all I needed to know we were on the same way. Joining that group chat alone means a little bit of that, but there's 1,300 people in that group chat. There's 10, 15.
It actually takes a lot of balls for you guys to go and do that. Like, even some of the stuff that I was telling you guys we were going to do, it's like, it's like, come on, right? Bring it back down to reality. But, like, you come to Guatemala, we're going to take a private plane to the property, we're going to do this, we're going to hike up an active volcano. That's not like, dude, come on. The people that take that sacrifice to go and do that, it says a lot about you guys, and you guys tapped into that. It's pretty special, to be honest. And then on top of that, you bonded with each other in ways that, like, you can't really replicate unless you can go and do those types of things.
100%. Yeah, and like the lake day was like a perfect example. Just like getting the reps of, like, when you put yourself here, you're gonna get the reps of more uncomfortable with the situation. Right? Like, how many guys have, like, never stepped on a wakeboard or never went on e-foil, and a lot of people watching probably don't even know what that is. It's basically a 4-foot surfboard with a fucking propeller and you go like this instead of like that, and it's but everyone got up and did it. Like, I watched Jacob out there for 2 hours just saying, like, all right, I'm gonna never should it's not going on, like it says. But, like, what a good lesson for, like, absolutely anything.
Right?
I wanted to quit. There's some of those that really hurt.
I got to swim back over this fucking.
But I was like, I knew I was so full. And, like, next time I just come, I feel a little bit, and I was like, all right, I want.
Yeah.
Like, you get a little dose of that adrenaline, what it's like supposed to be like, and you're just hooked.
Yeah.
But it rolls through the red, and, like, I'm running.
100%. Now, Kale, 18 years old, bunch of 20-something, for better or worse idiots, invite you to come to a little foreign country from the internet. Why? How do you have the confidence to do that? What do you have to say that those guys on the fence just graduated high school and like want to get around more like minds at an early age? Because doing it early, you're just going to develop that awareness that, like, is just second to none. And people will tell you that.
Dude, that's what I kept telling too, bro. It's like, you're doing this at that age, I thought we're ahead of the curve. But
Like, one's
this special.
or you're 10 years younger than you, and you act like, an 80-year-old older. Probably the truth. I had no idea though, but it just it's cool it out.
I'd say, well, I knew, like, when I was in school that I definitely wanted to travel. I just always wanted to see the world. So when I first joined IO back in July, the trip to Hawaii was announced like a month later, and I was like, I'm doing it. So I booked it one way just because, like, I knew, like, even, like, say it was fake or whatever, it was like a scam. I'd spider black, but why? Like, I knew I'd still be kicking it for like a week in Hawaii or however long I was staying there. And I'd probably be fine. But coming out here, this is also my first time leaving the country. It's absolutely beautiful to see new places, especially how beautiful Guatemala is. Highly recommend coming here. But in terms of, like, the group, definitely what Jacob said, or not Jacob, James, how, like, it's that instant connection. Like, you come here, like, you meet these guys for the first time, but, like, it already feels like you've known them for so long. It was the exact same way in Hawaii. It was the exact same way here. Like, it's just that instant. You just get it off right away.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, super special. You done?
Yeah. The biggest thought I can impart is to say yes to everything, basically. and Jake texted me, and I know he's a good guy, and I literally said yes immediately because I knew.
I remember that. Yeah, it was great.
Just the thought of being in a place like this, other than in the region, is like really awesome, and it's a healthy thing to just be ready to say yes in a social setting. And maybe the most powerful thing about something like this is if you're a young guy, you be surrounded by motivated, driven, passionate people who can share your philosophies and correct you on things you're maybe doing, not the optimal way or anything else. But it's a great opportunity.
100%.
I also just want to add to that the longevity that this built is pretty fascinating too. Like Tampa, and then like Texas is like you have Velati and a couple other guys over there in Texas. Like you have that real life connection that it's not just being like, all right, the trip was fun, it was cool. Like for example, like we sent out an email, an IO email that we were in Florida, back in Florida for like a week or two. Kale texted me, he's like, hey, like, you're in Florida, like, and I was like, yeah, come skydive with us, get your license. He said it overnight, same day. It's like those little like spontaneity moments, which is like what makes this all so real. Like that friendship, brotherhood, like you can't put a price on her,
Yeah, 100%. As Steven, you're in charge of more or less making sure we don't do anything stupid, don't die, don't get arrested. Oh, deal. Yeah, I would love to hear what like your interpretation, the guys, everything, cut out on this trip.
Extremely happy to hear this share people. And especially you guys, like-minded people. As soon as your first dab is like, just seeing like a pro you haven't seen in a while. It's not like, it feels like there was no small talk. Like kind of the bullshit was really genuine.
Yeah.
And then just being able to share it with you guys, super special for me. As well, thank you guys for coming. You made it awesome.
Dude, I'm shooting a podcast in a fucking jet hangar, surrounded by four-wheelers.
Yeah, for real, man. It's been a pleasure, guys.
Yeah, seriously, it's awesome.
Blake too.
Yeah, Blake, you want to pop show saving face here? Probably.
I would say, I kind of came on a whim as well as all of us probably did, not knowing. Some of us maybe did know each other, but most of us didn't know each other. So I think it's important in life to like follow that intuition or follow your heart, like when you feel that urge to go do something, that you go do it, because chances are those are the transformational experience that kind of unlock like these new experiences. And then from there, that's kind of like life-changing opportunities. So yeah, I would say also more than ever, over the years, I've kind of done the lone wolf thing and, spent so much time alone. So now it's more than ever like forming brotherhood is really important to me because, I think more than ever, as all of us need friends, we need a man pull. And that as we're moving into new terrain in this world, it's just so important to create those trusting bonds where we're like that. So I'm super excited that I came on this trip, but I feel like it's all good, more opportunity for all.
Yeah, 100%. I really love what you said there because, like, I think I've talked about with a few guys here where, like, I'm just so big on universal feedback, right? Like, you start doing the right things, you stay consistent with it for months at a time, and then the opportunities just start to present themselves one after another. And each time I've, like, just gotten the borderline instinct, like, for what reason is there, like, all these like-minded dudes in a group chat literally called Irrational Optimists? Was growing up, like, I was always, for, like, some people appreciated it, some people hated my guts for it. Most optimistic guy in the room. Life's not hard. I think, we're all here to win. And like, I've had that since I was like 14. So it was like seeing like the group chat like that come together. I was like, of course, like I got to go. This is the universe telling me like, yo, there's the Irrational Optimist. Fucking get around him. Like, go do it. And if I would have said no, or I would have hesitated, or would like he said, like it probably would have just, I would have waited another 3 months to see those opportunities really present themselves. But now, man, hour. Jake Youngblood, dude. Hey, dude, coming on, bro. It was a pleasure. I've been trying to get this for a long time. Yeah, we like, and I know it's like travel schedule busy, but the first question I really want to ask you is like, hearing all that, like, describe the emotion. I think would be the best way to put it.
Yeah, that's a great question because it's like, it's incredibly emotional for me because I think we all share, like, there's a reason why we're all here. There had to have been something that have happened in our lives that we didn't like for us to lead us here, whether that be pain, like the lone wolf stuff, or not feeling like you're fitting in, or you're wanting more opportunities, or there's other parts of life that just like you always aspired to have that skill set but didn't. Like I had all that. You know, that's kind of like the crux of Irrational Optimism, was bringing that together and then sharing that with everyone else. So like the detachment from the online aspect to the real life and actually seeing people in flesh and hearing how special this was for them, you know, that there's can't put a price on that. You know, that means the most to me. You know, it's like, you know, you can see me at a slinger, I jump through fire and do all these dumb things, but it's like to see other people conquer things that are scary to them or grow in ways that like they didn't think they could do, like that means the most. You know, like you no amount of money or item or anything could compare to seeing other people that you love, and then they believe in you and then go and achieve the things that they want to do because of settings like this. Like, dude, it's like, I always kind of tell the guys like Steven and Joe and all them, like, if I actually really sat down and processed all it, I'd like self-implode. You know, there's just so many powerful positive emotions with it that it's like, I just gotta kind of keep pushing, but it's so special because like I think it was John that might have said earlier, it's like the people that are gonna go to this, there's already that commonality, you know, that type A personality. And it's like, who else is gonna go to Guatemala and just do all the stuff we just did? You know, is that family bond is there. Then when we kind of unpack things and you have those deep conversations, it's so beautiful, bro. So
Yeah, no, I mean, I think because that's awesome. It's so great to hear, and I think the biggest thing is like you doing that, and then all of our peers that have no idea who you are, but because we had this opportunity, now there's a lot of guys that are hearing us talk about this now. But then also everyone we go back home and like talk to, and it gives them that sense of belief. Yeah. Like they're like, it's contagious and contagious to spot. Like they're gonna people are gonna start to believe that they can really do it. That's the one thing I've learned through entrepreneurship, where it's like, honestly, dude, don't really worry about what it looks like. The fact you're trying, the fact that I know people see that, and it's gonna convince the kid who was in my shoes 2 or 3 years ago, like, hey, why not do this? Like, I'm only 20 years old. Like, just try it and figure shit out, you know, well into your 40s. Like, but, you know, you're never going to have this time in your teens, in your 20s, in your early 30s to, like do really cool shit. You know, once you get married, once you have children, decide to do that, like, you know, life gets a lot more, like, you know, you're not just living for you anymore. Yeah. You know, and so I think, like, that's super special. Now, diving into, can we talk about the root of this? Because I've researched a little bit, but I'm really curious, like, what was the first step to this becoming a thing? And, like, how long ago was that? I think I was aware of it early this year, but I think I joined probably July.
It's not even a year yet. Yeah. I think it'll be Irrational Optimism will have its first birthday in February. I think it's February 11th. But so it's kind of funny enough how it started. I was in a really weird place in my life. Like I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't happy. I was just kind of like coasting through life. And I kind of had like a super low point. And then I had always kind of thought the aspect of building communities was cool. And I was slowly kind of crawling out of it. And then I was with Logan, and we were living in Miami. Love Fitz, you know, big shout out. He was a huge help in pushing me to do this. And I was like, I want to start a community, and I'm starting to feel better. And my like energy on Twitter started to change as I was posting a lot of really like high octane, really stoked, hyped, and then someone like started tagging me in these positive things, and I started to kind of just like adopt that like brand of Irrational Optimism. And around that time, I was, like I said, I was with Logan, and then he goes, "Why haven't you done it yet?" You know what I mean? And that one, literally all I did was like, "Why isn't it done yet?" And so I had recently just bought a business at the time, but I put that on pause to completely build on the Discord. I mean, the course, I had the setup for like the promo, but like before that happened, I put a tweet out because I was like, who's going to be interested in this? I said, if I created a free community that's going to have like live calls, free courses, you know, and events in the future and stuff like that, would anybody be interested? And I got like 500 responses, and I was like, God, like this is super cool, but I also got to pause everything to go and do this. And so I went and did that, and just like, it's been a roller coaster since.
Yeah, 100%. And how does it, like, what's the process like as far as deciding where to next? Was the first trip to Hawaii, was that the first IO trip?
Oh, the first one
Yeah, and I was 2 months ago now.
was September.
September.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And like, you just roll with the flow as far as like kind of how that came together. Like, where was the idea? Why Hawaii?
So Dustin Thomas, actually, he's a big part of IO now. He unfortunately couldn't make it on this trip, but he's doing some big things in the UK right now. But he actually sent me a DM on Instagram, and he goes, "Hey, dude, like I really, really love what you're doing. Like we should do a retreat together." He goes, "I have a property in Hawaii, and I would love to have you out there. And like let's set it up." And that's kind of what brought the real aspect to life. And that was such a blast. Like, we'd love to do another before the year is up, and then that led us to Guatemala. And that's just going to be a big part of next year, just kind of like bringing the realism to it instead of just like it just being online.
100%. How cool was it to see guys that went on the first trip come back for, round 2 with the...
Oh, dude, it was so special. It was so special, bro. It was so great to see you again and Bilotti and, obviously Steven and Joe, but it makes me feel good because there's got to be an aspect where it's like, I got to make sure everyone's having a good time and take care of it. It's like to see people want to continue doing that. Like that means a lot to me too. And of course, like I have a lot to learn. Like I'm not a professional event runner, I have a lot to learn. I'm super humble about that, but to see that there is a spark of momentum with it is all I need to keep growing and be better.
Yeah, 100%, man. And now, I mean, we'll go like a little further back now. What were you doing before, let's say, we'll call it the dark place? Like, what was life like for you then? And kind of, how would you say you got to there? Like, I'm sure there were high lows in between.
Sure.
Yeah.
So kind of what my whole life was predicated on was I like to do a lot of fun things. And there obviously comes a point where my family's just like, hey, we can't subsidize that anymore, And we can talk about this in a little bit, but I was signed to a record label in China. And I was also, I've done multiple different careers. And I tried all these things. I just never really stuck, which kind of eventually led into entrepreneurship. But it's like, that's what fueled me into, eventually leading gear is that like, I want to do fun things. I want to do fun things with great people like all yourselves. Unfortunately that costs money, and so I want to set myself up in a position where I can do those with people I love, and also like other people that see that and feel like they would, enjoy doing those same things, also to feel welcome, kind of like coincide with the rational optimism.
Yeah, 100%. I think just like the timing of it is like just so perfect. Like the world we live in, the exposure you can have, the fact that like again we all met on the internet as strangers, and we just assume we're going to trust all these guys.
No.
Like, you have no idea they're just going to walk through the door or what they seem like they're going to walk. I mean, there was like 3 instances where it's like I followed a few guys on Instagram before and I showed up and I was like, okay, like not what I expected at all. And that's like why the IRL, like the real life, like idea of this, like the getting people in person talking is like so important. It's like, it's so important because it really gives you a clear, like that the social media is just not all it's caught up to be. I think we all put a lot of importance on what we see, like we take everything so seriously, but like, as I've seen guys like do, like we're going to post about this in 3 weeks and people are going to think we're still there.
Yeah.
But that's like, and they're going to not fall for it, but like they're going to consume it. Right. And people are going to have those kind of emotions and XYZ. And it helped me realize like, I really do that a lot. Like I spent a lot of time where like, social media makes you make so many decisions on such a daily basis.
A lot of pressure too. I'm even like guilty of it too. It's like there's so much pressure to do certain things or achieve certain things and this and that. And then that sort of like consumes you in a lot of ways. And then that clouds your judgment of what you really want to do. And that, more so that'll kind of add like a brain fog to like what actually makes you happy in your core. So, this should make you happy, this, or you're doing this wrong. You see other things that are like, might be getting more, engagement on social media. There's all those problems, and you come out and go somewhere like this where it's out in the farm, you kind of go back to your roots of like, this is what actually makes me happy.
100%. Dude, I explained how like I went probably like the first, at least 48 hours that I was here, didn't even really know where my phone was.
That's great.
And I was just so relieved to not, like I realized how many like decisions and how many like when you're scrolling and whatnot, like how many emotions your brain goes through. It's not healthy.
Yeah.
Like, but when you're just in peace and you're in nature and you're around guys that are talking about the right things and like they're all motivated, it's like, damn, like I feel like I'm fucking superhuman. You know, like you cut out like the bullshit, and then like it opens up so many like opportunities. I noticed like I go out and like meditate every morning, and I would just have these ideas that just like I would never like I have, but it's like only when I'm in places. If I go for like a beach walk at like 10 o'clock at night, sure, that type of shit happen. But here it was like just walking outside the front door and spending 20 minutes with myself. I was like, damn, like I got all these really ideas that I can't wait to capitalize on. Come 2024, the idea to do this and whatnot. Really been really special. And now, is there anything, because obviously I'm pretty new to the group, it's my first trip, like, is there anything about irrational optimism that you want to, like, you say, I guess we have it covered, or like that you want to put like an emphasis on, or like kind of like let the audience know maybe that we have it, yeah, like any part of the experience that you'd like to like cover a little bit deeper?
That's a good question. Just a second to think about that.
Yeah, a real spot.
One thing that I can add for you, Jack,
Yes.
something that I touched on previously, but it's still very important, and that's kind of that you look for people with common values, and one of the easiest ones that I meant to say earlier is work ethic. If you surround yourself with hardworking people that every day have a pattern of being on a path to being successful, that's extremely significant. And there's a quote on that saying that God will sell you anything at the price of labor. And the truth there is nothing will get you there faster than hard work and consistent about that.
Yeah. There's been a lot of synchronicities on this trip. And like example A, dude, 10 hours ago, I posted a reel on my Instagram story. It was Hermosi, and he pulled that Bible verse on an interview. It's literally talked about the same thing. The idea that I was just talking about how like the real mental struggle a lot of entrepreneurs have, and now I've gone through it, still like struggle with it, is just feeling like you put together is 1 year, 2 years, 5 years worth of work and thinking like, oh, it might not be worth it. Like you have those thoughts, it's natural. So if you're having those thoughts, it's totally natural. But like, you only lose when you quit. But he quoted that Bible verse. And then it was like another synchronicity. And I don't even think I told you this yet, but Jacob sits down at dinner and he's like, I'm gonna say grace, like it's from my great grandmother, like originated in his family. And he starts talking, and I'm like, dude, I've said this every night with my siblings and my parents for the last 23 years that I've been at the dinner table. Word for fucking word. Nah, it's on point now. Yes.
Not like completely with my family. And then
Right. It's super cool because you'd have to like, what are the odds? And I've been trying to think of a few more. I mean, I thought it was cool. Like Joe and Gus, they're not here, but my first roommate in college, like we were just best friends, and he was like, 30 minutes outside where those guys live. And like, as soon as I'm like talking to those guys, like the humor and everything just brought back all this like nostalgia, like good energy I had with that kid. Shout out David Bulmer, dude, freaking best friend. We're still tight, just, life gets busy, as he moved back to the UK. But that was just so refreshing for me. I was like, damn, like I really like, it showed me that was a good friend in my life to like kind of keep around, little things like that. Anything for anybody kind of to open the floor back up that, I don't know, like, I would say felt like it alignment or something interesting that happened that you're just like, whoa, like what, like, there's a real reason I'm here. Anything that told you like this, there's a reason I'm here, I think would be like the best, like a reminder. It's okay. No, I'm just curious.
well, kind of, because I have actually mentioned it, which is so early certain extent you always want to been filled up some sort of like-minded in the healthy community in some efficient form. So I guess where did that like come from? Like, why do you think you just wanted to do that? And then you think just you wanted to shove a few boards, something that you wanted, you felt like you were lacking in yourself. What? So is that something you just to do? Like where that gonna happen?
That's such a great question.
Even like my thing is always wanting to be a fighter, fly jet. It's just straight. What like that? Because it wasn't really realistic. But I never had a thought like that. You start chewing it. But that's people.
I think what it was, to be honest, and if I could say the most important thing to me in my life are the people in my life. So that's what I've always kind of been like that. And I thought it'd be a great idea because, like, look, like the reality that there's going to be more people out there with like-minded values were pretty high, in my opinion. And so, like I said, my whole life, I pride myself with the people that I've been with, and I love them to death, and I would do anything for pretty much all of them. And it's like, what if I could do this at a big scale and have like a massive family of people that also love to do the same things, and then their best friends, and it keeps on going. That just like, that inspired me. And I wanted to build that vehicle so those friendships and brotherhoods could happen.
So it kind of sounded like you found a purpose, like you enjoy helping and
Yeah, I think that's great.
good wish. I remember, was it you, John? Where you're like, I remember in one year, your hopeless battery post, I think it was, you were saying about how he's, kind of get like a rough patch, and you heard some advice from someone. But it was like, whenever you're feeling down and decide to be, or cuss or whatever, go do something for someone else.
Yeah.
And I think you had talked about that, and so I think people that listen get that, kind of the outcome they're feeling, my father's whatever assumption and so. So it sounds like that's kind of like,
Yeah. I've always kind of been that person where it's like, I just got more satisfaction giving it.
Yeah.
It's just who I've been. Like, even like a couple of weeks ago, I was in Mocha. I was like feeling really shitty. And I went into the town. I was just going and buying coffees for people. I was like, I felt great out there. Like, yeah, that is the reason he said it. Like, yeah, that was fun. That was with Steven. That wasn't in Florida, but that was in Guatemala. That was a blast too, bro. It's just like, you feel so much better making someone else feel fulfilled, or just even reminded that they're special as well. It doesn't even have to be like, oh, this person's not that good looking or this or that, or separated by this or status or wealth or whatever. It's like, we're all the fucking same, and just like reminding people that it's like special.
And the biggest thing this provides, and like just is the I read this, and I think it's How to Win Friends and Influence People, and it was like the two things that everyone will always, I'm not gonna say buy, but buy into, are human connection and feeling important. And it's like, you're so welcoming and like so just inclusive of everybody. Like, I constantly hear him, like, somebody's just walking like a little separate from the path, he's over there in 5 seconds, like, yo, how's it going? You good? XYZ. And like feeling important just constantly. Everyone feels really important like the whole time we're here, and then feeling like just providing the connection. Like, we made connections for life. I have connections in like 15 different new cities now. Like, I know I got the lay of the land of like Guatemala. Like, I could help other people like when they're asking me about things, like super cool. And like, to talk about Guatemala, like real quick, I think I was having this conversation with my mom. I got to call her once while I was here, and it really made you appreciate how lucky we are to live in the U.S. Like, watching, and really just where we come from, but like watching people walk up the hills and, carrying sticks on the top of their head, watching them sell like ice water and like Coca-Cola on the side of the road. And we see, just like, we're passing by kids and families that may have never even like experienced like the internet. Like, they don't have a TV in their every single day. They don't have smartphones where they're buying into like they're watching, they're getting, honestly, I get a lot of help off social media as well, but like access to information, and it just made me really appreciate that so much more. And I know they say that, like, that's why you really should travel and see how different cultures operate, because like, it opened my eyes, and it made me so much more grateful for where I've come from, where I'm going, everything under the sun.
That out of that. So I worked with two guys that was in Tijuana and moved to get up to San Diego because, jobs in the U.S., it's a crap job, still a lot of money in Tijuana dollars. And, I have, my weight fluctuates sometimes, so I'd really close. And, like shoes, whatever. And, there wasn't like something that was really valuable. It would be warmer, but it's still like probably clothes. And I'm used to just dropping like a little or, give them to friends or whatever. But I don't remember how it came up. And then the guy I work with, who's Armando's, super funny little dude, looks like Mario. And he was mentioning that, if there's kids that's running around with TJ, they don't even have shoes. I'm sure it's like they don't even have a bed, and that's literally 15 miles from where I live in San Diego. And like, not that I live in like a nice part, but like San Diego is this incredibly rich place. And it's literally, you can see Tijuana from across the bay. Yeah. And it's like these people don't really have clean water, toilets, like literally night and I've heard shooting the towel up there. And so since I was been giving him like all my clothes, like he takes him to his church and leaves them out. He was saying it shows showed him a picture of me. It's like, it's very cool. It's kind of short. No, I was like a newbist. And it's like, I'm just this from Indiana. I just like get rid of my old shoes, like change these kids' lives. Yeah, and it's just like a huge reality show. Well,
100%. Watching that guy spread the wealth too, like watching him spread it to the church and like going like he looks at you as an example. It's like, I can help even more people now. So you helping one person helped like God knows how many others.
well, they're very community and family oriented. Like other coaches, I like American fellas that might cover the family, but like I'm fucking inward. Yeah, telling you let's go, I guess. But it's like nothing is that place. But my point is like there's just, they have so many more struggles that we don't even know, and they just want to help show. And they're not filmed in cars because like owning your car is something that they'll probably never tell you.
100%.
So places like Guatemala are just another.
100%. Highly recommend if you're gone to South America. Seriously. No, bro. How to really transition this? I think it is like a great like talk over the group and whatnot. But I am really curious. Who, what, when, where, how did you end up in China as a pretty big celebrity? I
wouldn't say a big celebrity. I mean, it's just being a white, like an American. I'm like, yeah, they treat you as like a celebrity over there. I thought you record deal. I did. So the record label was called Modern Sky, and they're a very high profile event curator record label. And so how that kind of happened was actually my dad did Tai Chi in San Diego, and he got very close with another lady who was from China, and we started. She slowly became a family friend, and that's when I was really into music at the time. And I showed her my stuff, and she was very well connected in China, and so she sent that over to the CEO of that label, and they loved it, and they offered me a position at their company, and I was living in the Yunnan province, which is like the southwest side, near Myanmar, Laos, and the city called Kunming, which is actually kind of the San Diego of China. Super lucky, yeah. Very, very safe, very clean. I was really young. I was like 19 or something when I was over there, so I was a little too immature to really like reap the benefits of that experience because it was a lot, And I think that was my first time out of the country. I was going and living in China by myself. That was a lot. No one.
I'm elite.
Yeah, and that's a fascinating experience. I've always kind of found a liking to countries that are just so polar opposite to the West that I've been exposed to. I always find myself to appreciate those experiences a lot more because it's so different than what I'm used to that it's like, I feel like I grow a lot more. And so I lived over there for a couple months, and I was an A&R for like their Chinese artists to English artists, and they were going through, it was really fascinating. Like, how we had like British invasion, like rock and roll was really big, like what was it, like 70s or something like that. Really, really popular. They were going through a big rock phase. Like that was like brand new to them, was like rock and roll music. And then it was like rock and roll, EDM, and rap. It was just like brand new to China. And so they would have these huge festivals, and I was fortunate enough to headline one of them. It was called the 500 km Festival, KM short for Kunming. And I was so nervous for that, bro. There was like posters all throughout the city. You'd see everybody on it, and like there's some big artists on there. It's like Higher Brothers, if anybody knows who that is, or like 88 Rising, or like Joji. You guys know who Joji is? He was there. The festival was really interesting because it was held at this like donut. It was like this huge donut like arena, and you'd enter through like the bottom and go up, but the festival was on the perimeter of the donut. And so they didn't have it how it's like the United States, where every single artist is playing at just different time slots. There was like 6 different stages, but like 12 o'clock would play, that'd be the only one playing. And when that was done, everyone would migrate to the next one, like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock's playing, and everybody would move, and it was just going in this circle. It was so interesting. And then before my set, I was so nervous. I smoked 2 packs of cigarettes. I probably told you that. I just out of it. I threw up, bro. It was there, right? There was a couple thousand people there, bro. And I had just come from like DJing at like basement. You know what I mean? So it was a truly, yeah. It was a really, really wonderful experience. I think I was a little too young to really like reap the benefits and grow with that opportunity.
100%. And I think, wrap this up pretty soon, but like DJ, like my audience, there's a lot of guys. I mean, they're trying out, right? Do you have any advice for those guys that are thinking, that could be the lifestyle for them, or like if they want to try it, how should they kind of go about it?
That's a good thing. My biggest advice with that is you're gonna see when you get into music production that you're gonna want, like, you're gonna need this plugin, you're gonna need that, you need this expensive computer, you need that. The most creative things come from limited resources. So don't fall into the trap that I need to buy all these fucking things so I could finally make good music. It's not true, you know, and that's a trap. So I would say, like, even if you just get the light version of something, like, run with that. And honestly, like, study the DAW, the digital audio workstation, whether it's FL Studio, Logic, or able to, like, get really comfortable on that, learn music theory. Like, there's so many free things on YouTube. And then what's really blowing people up nowadays is social media. You know, someone could have a song in there and overnight A-list celebrity with their music, you know? And I would say, like, all this shit is free. It costs nothing to learn on YouTube. It costs nothing to post on social media. And it's like, if you want it bad enough, like, it's right in front of you.
100%. And then I want to use that as a time, like, a good mentor of mine, Tyler Mercier, shout out him. He used to always tell me, dude, like, costs nothing to pay attention.
Yeah.
Like, keep your eyes open, and, you know, the opportunities will start presenting themselves, and start to piece things together. But honestly, man, anything we haven't gone through that you want to talk about? Or
Yeah, I think the last thing I'd want to say is, you know, for everyone that comes across this, I think I can speak for everyone else. I'm half everyone else here. Like, we would love to have you inside our community. It's completely free, and, you know, like, don't be shy. Like, introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, your name, you know, whatever you're comfortable with, and, you know, like, reach out. My DMs are always open. I'd love to get to know you, and I'd love to see you in person too. You know, you guys are always welcome and encouraged to join.
100%. And yeah, DM any of us. All right, everyone's gonna be tagged in this, guys. Like, seriously, if you want to find out more about this, hit me up. I think we've already closed like 5 people into joining. Even though that's free, it's 100%. Started so far, not the place. But yeah, and that hopefully get that number up there to end the year.
Yeah.
Jake, thank you, fellas. Thank you for doing this. I'm glad you're back. And we'll see you on the next one.